Hey there and welcome. My name is Carlos Bertz and in this video we are talking about suspension of disbelief. Suspension of disbelief is really tightly related to a willing or an intentional feeling of suspension of disbelief. And sometimes it's related to, or it's explained as immersion, but immersion is much more than just the suspension of disbelief. Although suspension of disbelief is a very important part of that. And this is one of the main reasons that people mention, like, oh, there is magic or there is the force. Why you are complaining about some rules or that this doesn't make sense? If there is magic, nothing makes sense. And this, as many other ones, is explained in universe. Even if you have some soft magic system, you have some rules or some idea of how magic will work. So even though you want to sometimes subvert that expectation in your games, because it's present in movies, in writing works and so on, and mainly we are talking about your games, even though sometimes you want to subvert that expectation, you have to already have some idea of how that thing works in your universe. And you do not want to subvert that expectation in a way that it breaks the suspension of disbelief. That it breaks also, if you break your suspension of disbelief, you will break also your immersion, and you do not want that. Because what you want is that to keep your game going. And in order to keep your game going, you want every one of your players to believe that your universe have some logic, or it is real, at least inside its universe. As I explained in another video about game design choices, like you have some reason of metagame, how you want that to be specific to your way of game designing that. It's sometimes a challenge, it's sometimes a reward, it's sometimes just a minor setback or just something to confuse your players, but you have some reason in game. It's like some trap. I made a video about traps also, that you want that trap to be believable. You want the trap to, okay, it's preventing someone to get to some place. It's not just something that is put in a random place so that anyone can step that, but why? It's like in Indiana Jones. You have the trap to try to prevent the grave robbers, or Indiana Jones, perhaps he is not a grave robber, to get to the treasure. And it doesn't mean that some of the resources shouldn't be available only for your bad guys. It can happen, but these resources are still tied to the logic of your game. If you have a game with magic, these resources can have magic. But if you are in a futuristic way that you do not have magic, it's just technology, do not put something magical for your bad guys. Or the other way around. If you are in a fantasy medieval setting, why would you put something that is technological in your bad guys' way? Perhaps if you want to take your game to that direction, but then you have another reason, and that won't break the suspension of disbelief. Because that is another thing. Usually your players, they want to believe. Usually when you are going to watch something, to play something, to read something, you want to believe in the way that this setting is put on your way. So they are already making some effort from their side. You have to make effort on your side so that you meet them halfway. They are putting the effort on, okay, there is magic. There are some ways that we understand, or maybe we do not understand, but we know that the word works. So they trust you in a way to put that in a logical sense so that they can pretend to believe that that happens. We are playing a game of pretending. So we want to believe that that thing is real. So they deserve that you put the effort so that the game makes sense. Okay? That is it. Meet them halfway. They are willing to believe, but they trust you to make everything work and match their belief in the system, because you are the one that made the system, or perhaps not the system, but the universe in a certain way. If you are with me just right now, you like the video, like the video, share, subscribe, you know how internet works. Let me know what you think about suspension of disbelief. Is this important? Is this really important to you in your games as a player, as a GM, or not? Perhaps not. Perhaps you are willing to just play whatever. That is okay as well. There is no right or wrong way. But let me know, and we see us in another video. So, see ya! Actually, could you believe that?